Hi all. Okay, we're gonna do some more Ruby. I renamed these folders. The first one will be the install, and then the actual Ruby programs start here in 2. So we'll go ahead and put that folder on C:. In the first video we created this Ruby folder on C:, and we'll just drag that folder inside there. That just makes them easier to get to. See, here's the 10 files. They're just simple notepad files. When we installed Ruby recognized the .rb extension, and it changed the picture on the files, the icon. But if you right click these and go open with Notepad, then you'll see the actual text. Okay, we had put a link to the Ruby prompt down here, but just as a review, if you go to the start menu, go to all apps, down to Ruby, and then here's the different Ruby files. Right here is the Ruby command prompt. It opens it up to C:, into your user folder, and we'll CD into C:, then we'll CD into the Ruby folder, and now we'll CD into the O2 folder. We'll do a dir to see the files. So here's our 10 programs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me change the colors on the screen here. It'll be a little easier to see. Background is this black thing. We'll make that white. We'll make the text, screen text, black. And to make it easier to see in the video, we'll make the font just a little bigger and bold, and that should make it easier to see. Okay. Okay, so let's start with number 1 here, just to show you the file. If we right click and go open with Notepad, it just prints out hello world. So we'll go use Ruby and run the o1.rb file. That's this guy here. Press enter and it runs the file. Okay. Use the print command in Ruby and print out the text hello world. Now, something I've seen in Ruby, there might be multiple ways to do the same thing. So, this is how I recommend doing it. Put the text inside quotes and then put the whole thing inside the parentheses. Sometimes you can leave stuff out, but it's not always a good idea. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Just like you can drive a car from the back seat, it wouldn't be a good idea. It's the same type of thing here. Okay, so number 2. Kind of the same thing, but just some small changes. You can see here we've got it broken up into two separate words. Hello, and then world, and then we connect the two with a plus sign. We call them strings. It's a string of characters. So we're taking one string here, and we're connecting them with a plus sign. So here, I'll use the arrow keys to go up, and then we just have to change it to 2. So now we have the text printed out, hello world. Now you can see there's no space here. Okay, because we didn't tell it to put a space. You know, there's no space here. There's no space here. You know, how do we get a space in there, right? Number 3. You can see in 3 we put a space here. Okay, so we print out this string, and then we add on to it this string. This fancy plus sign, they don't call it a plus sign here, they call it a concatenate. You know, we're concatenating two strings together. So that's number 3. Okay, so we ran this Ruby program, used the print command to output this text to the screen, and it wrote these two words to the screen, hello world. It printed out this word, then it printed out this string. And there's our space. Number 4, same thing, just small changes. See, here's another way to get a space. We just put a space in between two quotes. So let's run it first and then we'll go over it. Okay, so we use the print command. It prints out the string hello. That's how this got to the screen here. Then it concatenated the space to it. That's how we got the space here. And then we printed out this string, world. Okay, so it's multiple ways to do the same thing. There's no right or wrong. It just depends on how you like to work, you know. Whether or not you put a space here or you put a space here, it doesn't really matter. So depends on what you're doing and what's going on inside the application, how you might want to use this type of thing. Okay, so we're on number 5. Now we're going to print out the text twice. And you see here, you've got a space here, you've got a space here, and there's no space between these two things. And also it's all on one line. See here, it printed out this string, and then it printed out this string. It did exactly what we told it to do. We didn't tell it to move down a line. If you want the carriage return to go down, just like on a typewriter, you know, you hit the enter key on your keyboard to move down a line. We didn't tell it to do that. so it printed out everything on the same line. So that's number 5. 6. See, here in 6, we put in a new line, they call it. That would be like typing, or that would be like hitting the enter key. You know, like if you're typing inside of a Word file and you need to move down to the next line, you hit the enter key a couple times. You know? Well, that's what this is. That's a carriage return. It moves down a line. So this is number 6. Okay, so that's how we got this printed out on 2 separate lines. Print hello world to the screen, then do a carriage return, and then do another print and print out the second string. Okay, now this new line here, the new line is actually the N for new line. We use the escape character here. See, we're telling the print command to don't print this to the screen. We want a new line to occur. So we're escaping the N, so it prints a new line. Now there's all types of these type of things. The other common one is a tab, you know, a \T for tab. You know. Backslash leans back. / leans forward. Well, like if we were going to put in a /, that would be that one. See how that one leans forward? So we got a backward slash and we got a forward slash. Okay, so that was number 6. We're on number 7. This is the same thing, but we move the new line down here. So 7. There is no right or wrong. It just depends on how you want to do it. It's pretty common to put it at the front of the line because when you're programming things, you might say, "Well, I don't know what happened up here, but I know when I put this line out, I know I want it to be by itself." So that's actually pretty common. So you know, just depends on how you want to do it. So that's 7, 8. Same thing, but we're putting 2 of them in now. We're going to do like a double space. So 8. So now we have a space between these 2 strings. We printed out this text here. That's that one. Then we did 2 carriage returns. We hit the enter key twice. And then we print out the second string. Nine. Okay, now we're doing something different. That first bunch was kind of simple, so I thought I'd throw in something here that's a little bit more challenging. We're still printing out the word hello, but what we're going to do is store it inside a variable. We're taking the word hello and storing it here. and then we print out my variable, and that will print out hello to the screen. Here, I'll run it, and it might make more sense once you see it. Okay, so we took the word hello, stored it inside a variable. You can name this just about anything, you know. I like to start things with my, because then I know there won't be a conflict inside Ruby. You know, the common things, the common words that Ruby programming uses. And then I print it out by saying print my variable to the screen. Okay, so that's a tough one there. In most programming languages, normally you have to tell the program what type of variable this is. Is it holding a character? Is it holding a number? Is it holding a string? You know, is it holding a number with a decimal point? You know, in Ruby you don't have to do that. You just create a variable name here, throw something inside of it, and Ruby takes care of all that behind the scenes. You know? Like normally when you would program in like C, C++, or Java or something like that, you might have to go string. You know, my variable is a string. Okay, and then we store the word hello in my variable. In Ruby, we don't have to bother with this. It's all done behind the scenes. And 10, kind of the same thing, but with just some small changes. Here, we're creating my variable 1. See, this is 1. I'm storing hello in it. My variable 2, storing world in it. Then we print out my variable to the screen, print out a new line, a different way to print out a new line, right? And then we print out the word. Okay, let's run this, see what it does. Okay, so first print out my variable 1. Print hello to the screen. So it prints out the word here. Then it moved down a line. This is actually a pretty common way to move things down a line. You'll see that exact same line in other languages. Then print out my variable 2 to the screen, and that's how we got the word world down here. Okay, I think we'll stop there, and I'll see you in part 3. See ya. Bye.